Oh, greetings. Greetings, Exena. Blessings. Welcome to Zoom. I got this thing figured out, I think, so ever so slightly. So I might jump into the chat. We'll see how things go. So, good afternoon or good morning. Oh, greetings, child of light. Greetings. Greetings, guys. Yeah, back. As you can tell, I'm back. Yeah, Edison went well. Of course, on the way back, weird. It was, because I'm coming back on the interstate. And then I noticed a helicopter in the middle of the road, at least on the south side. And all this traffic was backed up. So what's weird is that a helicopter did not look like an ambulance helicopter or a police helicopter. So very, because of the trees, I couldn't really see it that clearly. So anyway. And of course, on the way back, I went to a place called Botanica Gardens in Sarasota. I might show. I'll show it tomorrow. I'm so tired. I have pictures of it. I did a couple, and it's just they're all over the place here. Apparently, there's one in Naples, there's one in Tampa, and it just seemed that I just saw that yesterday. So, or last week, I saw Botanica Gardens. Like, what is that? So, it's basically a high-end garden place you can become a member of and go look at gardens. Basically, it's nice. They have a greenhouse there, and I got video of all of it. So I'm gonna I'll just put music to it. And I do like a short video. I didn't channel there because there's too many people there, and besides, I was pouring. I mean, it started to pour. But I'll just do a walkthrough. The shaky cam, I think I fixed that for, shouldn't be much shaky. If there is, there shouldn't be a whole lot of it. Basically, I'll just put music to it so you can see what it looks like. It's coming. So, of course, when I was out there, my car broke down. So, that was fun. So, the rest of my day was waiting for a tow truck. Get the ball bearings. The bearing on the wheel broke, so anyway, I spent most of the time waiting on a tow truck. Of course, I was about an hour away from home, so that was not cheap. So anyway, it's the way it goes. And it's I haven't got I was going to try and get it fixed the same day, but Sunday, it's Father's Day. Good luck on that. And it's probably getting a part for that thing on Sunday. So anyway, it's not like they have it sitting around somewhere. Unlikely. So I believe it's what turns the wheel or what you hook the tire into. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I just know how much stuff costs. That's all. So that's fun. So not a big deal. It's just I was going to, if that didn't happen, I was going to edit the Edison stuff. So anyway, that was a pain, but so way it goes. Okay. Okay, Google. What is your name again?
I'm your Google Assistant, and I'm ready to assist.
It's absolutely scary. Okay, Google, do you have a middle name?
According to Wikipedia, with or without periods is sometimes used in formal documents in the United States
really,
where
really
a middle
lame.
initial or name is expected, but the person does not have one.
Dude. One moment. Come on, give me something good here. Okay, these aren't funny. Anyway. Okay, Google, what's on your mind?
I'm thinking how strange it is that some soups are supposed to be cold.
Okay, glad we know that now. Thank you for entertaining that. This is what, it's the way you word this stuff. I'll probably forget how when I word this, but okay, Google, what happened today in history? If I worded that right.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that.
A day in history, isn't that how you call it? Okay, Google. A day in history. How do you word that?
My apologies. I don't understand.
Well, that thing's stupid anyway, but I don't know how these things are supposed to take over the world. I don't see that happening anytime soon. They can't even get Hangouts to work. So, so we're back on Zoom for a little bit, or no, for live streaming. I'm going to use Zoom. I'm just I guess I'm learning some stuff on Zoom that I didn't know about. That now I'm learning. So, well, I can make a good backup if Google takes a dump. So, you never know. It might. I think you can. I'll ask them if you can make this a little bit more like Hangouts. Not to say I'm going to use it for Hangouts, but you never know. As for the subject of today's video is about the Pleiadians. I got a download yesterday. I haven't got asked for not to get every full download because I'm going to do that here. So let's see here. Basically, it's what the Pleiadian, I call it the Pleiadian Alliance because I don't always name my videos the right way for clickbait and all that. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. Basically, how the Pleiadians connect to the Syrians, maybe other beings. Last night, I did connect to a lot of beings. I do feel a lot of wars are going on. Galactically, of course, as you can tell how our world is operating right now. And you're listening to David Wilcock. I'm probably being sent to David Wilcock. At least some of these, I'm not a big fan of all that, but like when you mentioned about the Illuminati are Martian, some of them are probably. I can see that. Anunnaki, Martian. I never really go into where they came from. I never really thought about that. I guess he went into the Black Pope. Now, what's weird about the Black Pope? I don't know. I feel like I can channel the Black Pope. Or I'm being deceived. I don't think so. It's not what is being told, and I don't think the Black Pope is somebody you can go up and say hello to. That's my feeling on it. So I could be wrong about that. But that matters. So basically the idea for this is going to Pleiadian alliances, especially the war that's going on. The war is going on as for the propaganda and keeping us from our spiritual enlightenment phase as where we're going. Of course, I'm going to be channeling a lot of this, also conscious channeling, to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on, but they want to go into more details of how we are evolving. Basically, it does seem like, have you ever heard of beings getting abducted in Astral? That's something I connect to very often. Apparently, it's very normal. Meaning abducted, meaning brainwashed, basically. From what I'm gathering, let's see here. I guess we all kind of go through that as we enter this Earth, beginning through astral. When we enter into this world, physically, our astral selves get manipulated also. Not fully. I think you get unmanipulated. But it does seem like you go through a manipulation phase, which many are not into, not that interested in. And it does change your... Why do you think there's so many people that are not spiritual? They're not connected to your guides, not connected to anything. If you want to call it spiritual, I call it whatever you want to call it. But there's a reason for that. Obviously. Yeah, it's Illuminati. It's like, obviously. It's like being indoctrinated. It's like, if you're going to come into this world, it's like, okay, that's great. There are other archons, they're dancing around doing their thing, being robots or whatever the hell they're doing. But it does seem like as you come into the tunnel, into this world, you go through, well, the Illuminati tunnel. That's what I'm gathering. It's like, if you're going to come into this world, you got to come in on our terms. And this is why babies get sick and why they have, not to say you're not going to get sick, but it does cause a lot of disformities and things of that sort. So if you're gonna come here, we're gonna get you, and you know what you're gonna get. You know what you're coming into. You know exactly what you're gonna go through, and so it does also kind of lower your vibration as you enter here. I think people are already aware of this to a certain degree. I never really looked at it in this. It's not something I think about very often, but this is what they want you to know. But you can undo this. So wonder why the world is obviously unaware. Of course, you can be awakened in places like South America is one. Uh, Asian countries, there are places where, yeah, you'll be indoctrinated. Now, there's different levels of it, such as the United States. This is the petri dish, basically. It's like for them to carry out their agendas, we have to be brainwashed. That's the way it goes. So if they're going to rule the world, the United States would be one of the most manipulated places. I imagine there's others. This is the Mecca. Other places, they don't care. They connect to aliens, it's fine. No, who cares? Most people are Americanized anyway, as you can tell. So, see an alien, who cares? You know, if you're not on America's soil, if you're somewhere else, they don't give a shit. Basically, so you're just crazy because they got the main hub totally under control, as you can see. Yeah, there is a lot of obviously attacks we go through, like brainwashing tactics that are going on. So obviously, it's a massive manipulation. But as for the tunnel of love that we go through to come into this world, uh, obviously there's different versions of them, but United States is top level. It's like this is where they want people asleep. They can join a gang, join a religion, whatever. Just stay out of our way. That's basically what I'm getting from that. Wonder why many people don't want to incarnate here. It's not just that you get brainwashed when you come here. It's just that it's everything that you lose. And it's just so much. It's like even your astral self gets affected. It's like that's it can affect me physically all you want. That's one way of looking at it. But my astral self, no thanks. Even that gets manipulated. So even they only want to see certain things. So obviously the manipulations here are pretty heavy. As you can tell with society, it's quickly easily blinded. And being easily blinded, it's very difficult to come out of that blindness because the indoctrination has been so heavy throughout their lives. So leaving that is seem like almost impossible because of the amount of manipulations that are here. So basically, what they're saying is to heal somebody, it's connected to their astral self. Like you're dealing with somebody that's very 3D and very difficult to deal with, connected to their astral self, connected to their guides also. But sometimes their guides are manipulated also, you'd be surprised. It's like they're very protective of their manipulated soul that they're watching. Not to say they're fully manipulated, but in some ways they are. Just the way it goes. I mean, from what I'm feeling, it's like you can connect to their guides. Sometimes you might get something out of them. A lot of times they're protecting their person that they're watching. It's like don't even bother. That kind of gives an indication. But you can connect to their astral self. There's different methods of how to go about this, but usually people are very, locked down in their belief systems that none of this exists. Most likely, whatever. But it does seem like a lot of this is coming to an end to a certain degree. We'll go into that in a second. So I'm going to do, as I always do in the beginning of these, before we get fully started. That was weird. So getting used to all this. Work. Before we get started, and we're going to who I am, if you're not unaware. And of course, I didn't have that set up right. As usual. No wonder. Oh, Zoom. Glad you're back. Okay, this is ivanteller.com. Where you can find me. Yeah, this is a contact page if you have anything you'd like to add to the show. Private sessions, go through real quickly. This is my monthly schedule. You can find it here. Of course, I've been working at work, so it's been very difficult to. Well, I have most of this week should be free. We have gift cards also. Yes, they're not pretty. I tried to change it, didn't work out very well. I'm working on another way for doing gift cards. I haven't got around to it yet. I'm going to. This is another way to book a session also. Visit the shop. You can submit a question for $5 and receive an audio file. And same thing, if you can't understand English, you can or a text manuscript, so it'd be typed out in English, but at least you could read it. If you don't understand what I'm saying, hopefully you can run it through a translator of some kind. We also have web apps for iPhone and Android. Still have not updated that. As for when, it is unknown at this time. There's something else I was going to go through, but I forgot what it was. Either way, it's spiritsocial.org. These are my services: submit a question, healing, past life regression, message from Yeshua, channeling, consulting, and 5-minute healing. So a question from a day, chakra healing from a day, soul painting from Stephanie, and angelic Reiki from Miguel. And for questions, it usually takes 1 to 5 days, 1 to 10 days. It does take a while, sometimes depending on what's going on, especially when my car keeps breaking down. Is the Spirit Queue is the social network. I was going to log into it, but I'm going to give it a break tonight. It's been a long day, but this is where you can post your updates if you want something to be known. This is a good place to do it. I'm not usually on Facebook very much. I don't really care much for Facebook. But I should be posting there, but I do here and there. I do have cartoons, but anyway, it's not that. Well, I kind of take a break from cartoons. So, something in my eye. So, support the broadcast. You can always donate. Also, is much appreciated. Keep the madness going on. Keep the insanity happening as we go down this trail of the unknown. This is a crazy channel. Just in case anybody was wondering, insanity is watching football or Netflix. Nothing wrong with those things, but that's your reality and that's it. Connecting to spirituality is basically connecting to your soul and connecting to what is here. Obviously, our world is very controlled as for alien connections, angel connections, connecting to the other side, as they want us in a pit, as you can see. And we're trying to pull ourselves out. Not as easy as we'd like it, as we like to, but to be pulled. We've been born in muck, basically, and now we're trying to unmuck ourselves. And in doing so, we're called crazy, called fakes, called whatever it is, and that's fine, as the lower vibrations are very attractive here, as you can see. But connecting to your angels does help you relieve stress. Connecting to doesn't have to be aliens. You don't have to connect to that at all. That's weird central. Something about it, just connect to an elemental or an angel. Nothing wrong with that. Aliens can be very bizarre. There is an alien war going on. If there's a war here, as you can tell, there is. There's definitely one going to mostly fourth dimension. There are fifth dimensional wars. It's a lot different. It's used by energy. But fourth dimension is still physical. It's just more connected to your guides and everything that's around you. Obviously, if you live in a different country, depending on your belief system, you'd be surprised that you can become more aware of who's around, such as the United States, as I said, is very controlled. This is where the grid, this is where the manipulations are sent out. So we're going to be the most manipulated out of everybody. You might think Russia's the villain, but there's nowhere near as manipulated as the United States. We do go through our own propaganda. It's called NBC, ABC, etc. Internet propaganda, whatever it is, all just part of the matrix. Yes, you are living a dream, or you're living a psychotic Illuminati dream, basically. Yeah, it could be Martians. I can see that. But there's more to it. I never really connected where these Illuminati came from. Well, that was blocked, but I can see Martian definitely. I believe it's others, but as I say, a lot of that's blocked. They don't want you to know. As for the Black Pope, I believe there is a Black Pope. I don't believe this Black Pope is seen publicly. I know they might say they've seen it publicly. It could be true, but what I'm picking up on is not seen publicly. There might be a public version of it, but there's another version of it also. So I believe, yeah, as they said, the Black Pope went to Antarctica, so I guess that's the Black Pope, the one that's Wilcock is talking about. But I see, why do I see something different? Well, I see one that's more shadowy and not seen. So, yikes. That was not friendly at all. Not to say that Black Pope's not much friendly. Yeah. Yeah, the White Pope, the Black Pope. But it does seem like there's something else that's very hidden. Sorry about that. It's been a rough day. As usual. Jeez. Watch my car being reincarnated into a new car. It's reincarnating in front of me into a brand new car. Part by part, it seems. I could get a newer car, I guess, but I'm not used to having nice things, so I'm used to having stuff that breaks down a lot, so this is normal for me. Of course, this one breaks down a lot, but then again, doesn't anything, so whatever. Where I work is kind of ghetto, so having something decent there, I can see it having the tires removed and other things happening to it. It's probably not a good idea. So, drive like the ghetto, look like the ghetto, live with the ghetto. So anyway, that's the way it goes. Trying to keep up appearances. Anyway, it's not something I'm not used to. I'm not sure why I'm talking about that, but I'm glad somebody out there cares. So anyway, walking is living in New York City or somewhere you walk. That is definitely the place to go. As for where we're going with all this, oh yeah, with the Pleiadians and the Syrians and what is going on right now. As I talked about, the tunnel of love to come into this reality is not exactly pleasant. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly how it works on the other side. We lay down or whatever it is, or just a spiritual energy. We just sort of funnel into Earth. Obviously, we're energy, but I don't know how it goes. They don't. So not important. But anyway, as for the coming into it's really I call it the tunnel of love as we enter this world. A lot of manipulations are, to pound you into this indoctrination called our reality, to keep you under control. It's not just your family that's involved with it. It does seem like there's other patterns involved. That's why the aliens, when you are born, do abduct you to help you to adapt in a positive way. I mean, it's negative. Sometimes it might be, but I believe most of the time it's positive. Help your body interact help your soul interact with your body. I believe, yeah, the Greys are usually involved with that. I imagine our training. I see mostly Gray involved with that. They just know exactly what they're doing. They're like ants, they're just workers. As for awakening, you can do that. In America is very hard. In other countries is very hard also. Because connecting to yourself does not exist. Connecting to religion exists. That is yourself, religion. So, they have these methods of it's just It's like, here you go. You're going. No wonder babies are crying when they're born. It's like, here we're going to just beat you to death, basically. In some ways, they do. Through mentalities, they do. Like the Illuminati mindset is instantly like, target that child, and here, welcome to our love nest of darkness, basically. As you can tell with child molesters and things of that sort. It's like, instantly you're a target, and this is the Illuminati world. Enjoy it. Because, of course, they indulge themselves in darkness. They bathe themselves in darkness so they can bathe us in darkness. So they have to be like us. Of course, I imagine there are alien versions that do the same thing, but know how to keep. Like you've probably heard on Project Camelot, where some people, it's like they get molested or something to lower their vibration, to keep them under control. Higher your vibration, the less you can't be indoctrinated when your vibration is high. So I imagine when we're born here, of course, it's ever so slightly, we are at a higher degree. But I believe that, you can be, even after coming through the tunnel of whatever you want to call it. But a lot of it's, and then you remember yourself over time. Usually it's better in another country, but here in the United States also you can. But of course, you're going to be heavily ridiculed, not to say not going to be ridiculed in other places. But obviously, the government's well aware of what's going on. They're just not. They're not going to advertise it. Learn from it. It's okay if you see alien sightings. They don't want you to see it, but they don't care because they just call you crazy. So if you see them, big deal. They just mum it off because, like I said, United States this is the prison system here, the mental prison system that they do send off to other places. But if you don't listen, they don't really care because they just call you crazy. So why the United States? It's been, in the beginning it was already set as the agenda creator, basically. It was Spain at one time, England, United States. United States most likely is going to keep it for a while. I see the economy. I don't see it falling apart anytime soon. I see it actually being elevated. You'd be surprised. So if you don't see everything crashing down anytime soon, because it's being elevated, it's being assisted. As for what's going on with Trump, they're trying to take him down, as you can tell. But it does seem like they're going to try to set him on fire, but I believe he will. They're going to paint him as whatever they feel like painting him as. As for the war that's going on at this time, let's see. With the Pleiadians, the Syrians, even the Arcturians, there's several things going on here. The Pleiadians and the Syrians, a lot of them see us, they have agendas for us, and that's what the Galactic Federation of Light is. The idea is to have it's like the alien UN. It's to come together and everybody has their voice, and they try to make peace with with all alliances. You know what? As for the reptilian presence here, man, I know it's a big deal in conspiracy corners. I'm not seeing it as that a major. I know the reptilians are here being a pain in the ass doing what but I don't feel like that's the major thing that's going on here. I mean, the Illuminati energies is quite strong. It's basically your programmed human. It's like the programmed human is really the one that's running the show. Us. Reptilians are there to help us along on our self-destruction path, basically. Watch that movie or do this. Don't connect to yourself. Guides and angels, that's all crazy. They do that. They do know when you change your thought patterns. Like, wait a minute, what's this guy doing? Go over there and put fear in your mind. It's like, no, that's scary stuff. You're going to go to hell if you connect to that stuff. That's how, that's my feeling on it. So, yeah, the reptilians are heavy here, but there's a lot of, like I talked about the news also, a lot of that's Pleiadian. Not all of it's bad. There's different agendas along with it. They pick up the frequency that we are at. It's like, how can we lower the frequency? Oh, we'll create this event. And this is the alien stuff going on. Well, it's not all human. No, this is more alien from what I'm feeling. They create events, obviously, in another dimension. They know if they push this one too far, such as a guy that's just like pissed off about his girlfriend, grabs a gun or does whatever, and it does, cause a chain reaction. So I believe some lower dimensional aliens that are a part of it. It's not our reptilian. That's where the war is causing. The Nordics get involved with it, in a negative way. So, but they come to us. You can't see them, so they come out screwing around, like the trolls that are running through YouTube. The easiest ones, the trolls are the easiest ones to control. They're at a low vibration. It gives them excitement for being negative, easy to control. Doesn't take much there. They're controlling themselves. As long as they feel that high, and usually there's a lower vibration density around them. It's like, doesn't this feel good? Be an asshole. Doesn't that feel good? You make them feel like crap. Of course, yeah, negative and positive. Negative does has a purpose, so it does help. Without negative, positive would be like, oh, everything's great when everything's kind of stupid. So negative does help positive improve itself. So, but too much negative can make you insane. Too much positive, I don't know. You can't grow too well. You're always positive, as the other side is. Can't grow, but negativity helps you grow. So you need both. But just to give you an idea of how events work, you might be able to start seeing through your third eye certain events, like news events. Is the reason I'm going into this. The news, because that does they report on what's going on, so you can kind of. I like that thing in Manchester. I think, I think that's a lot of manipulations going on there. War is going on. Just they see a human at a low vibration. Obviously, they're connecting to other beings at a low vibration. So they come over to him and say, "Yeah, this is the right thing. Just go and blow yourself up or whatever it is. It's fine." You can't see them, you can't, but you feel it from them. So they can close out your guides too. They can do whatever they want. I mean, it's all your choice. You're already connected to a low vibration. It's not hard to connect to more vibration. It's not hard to get darker. It's not hard to get lighter, but if you're not into becoming more lighter, that's why connected to spiritual vibrations can unhook all this stuff for the most part. It's a little bit complicated, of course, when you're connected to a lot of dark stuff. But a lot of dark stuff, you're just piling it on. So causing a violent, like terrorist act is a lot of low vibrational beings that are involved with it. So that's where the war is going on. Yes, it has many teachings for us in this dimension, but still a lot of the stuff can be avoided. And that's where the Pleiadians and Syrians and some are negative, some are positive. So there's a lot of conflict going on everywhere. Yeah, wherever you see it, that's why the news kind of tells you where it's happening. So you can kind of get an idea, like see through the fourth dimensional energy, see what's going on. You'd be surprised. Doesn't mean it has to be a major fourth dimensional energy there. Most likely they're there somewhere, influencing us to destroy ourselves or each other or whatever it is. Um, Obviously, like in Congress, and I don't want to go to politics, but anyway, a lot of energies are there to suppress. And it's funny. I feel a lot of suicide energies there in the government, in Washington at least. Sometimes, some of the senators they get pressured so much it just they don't show it. Uh, Not to say they're going to do it, but they sometimes feel like the pressure's on. Made a lot of mistakes. It's like I'm not sure if I should even be here, and that's a lot of the fourth dimensional energies that are not very, promising there. So it's like, think of it like, at least that's what I'm getting. Think of it like, like a movie basically, or like the fourth dimensional aliens or like ghosts basically. And they're looking at us trying to talk to us, like you see in the movies. Ghosts are talking to us, like the movie Ghost for that matter. Ghosts are talking to us, and we're just wandering around like little whatevers. And that's what's going on with the aliens. They're talking to us. We don't hear anything. Of course, there are ghosts here too. So you get the layer of ghost world, and you got the alien world. It's in another dimension that nobody believes in or not. It's not pops. It's not part of the pop culture. That would freak people out because of the privacy, because there isn't any. But yeah, it's that's for. I believe a lot of that will start coming through more clearly in its own way when the time is right for individuals that are. You might just get a message on your own. You might just come to you. Might not, but I believe that this is how you awaken. They pressured me pretty good on all this. Of course, they didn't go into details, but basically, it'll drive us crazy if we connect to everything that's going on here. It's too much. But when events happen, you can probably get an idea of who's around there by your instincts, third eye. Just if it's important to you, it's not. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal. But that's part of cracking open our shell. Um, But as for some news events like the Alex Jones and Megan Kelly deal, um, I don't think this is going to hurt Jones all that much. I think it's going to actually help him. Uh, Not to say he's a perfect person, not to say I agree with anything, whatever. Either way, it's a lot of it is still Illuminati propaganda with Jones and NBC, but it does seem like they're pulling him into their bed. It's like, come on down, we'll give you money, power, whatever, because he has an audience. Because as an audience, so they can brainwash. Understand how positive is his audience? Probably not very spiritual, right? Probably not. Some are, most aren't. They're connected to anger. Not to say they're not bad people, no. Not to say people that watch NBC are bad, not at all. But how many are really spiritually awakened? What? Maybe 0%. Maybe it's like one less than that. So, from what I'm gathering, I didn't pick up on this earlier, but they're pulling in his audience to be basically to be indoctrinated into this, the web. I believe he will get more successful. It'll be the same old shit. But it is good for him to hit on other things. But where does it ever come of any of it? I mean, it's good. I think this conspiracy stuff is good. Of course, it's super negative. He doesn't talk about the Illuminati stuff anymore. Of course, I don't listen to him, but I don't think he talks about it very much. But I wasn't really going to go into this, but I guess it's a big deal. It does seem like they're going to pull him into. But it's the same old, but not entirely. But it's a game changer. As for the alien, that's a thing though. It's a good thing, but also it's the same old, same old. Meaning, if they do bring in the alien stuff, it's going to be a lot of propaganda, negative shit. So, if they go that route, like coast to coast, but I'm thinking more not spiritual connected though. More like I saw this ship and I think people are covering it up, yada yada yada. There's a high possibility of that going more mainstream. Um, I mean, it's already coast to coast. It's already seen as nutty, but I see more of at least that's what I'm saying. But it going to the mainstream, yeah, it's just gonna be like crazy people, but it would get more mainstream attention. How they're going to do it, I'm not sure. Like you'll have Alex Jones, a crazy channel, and then you go to Ancient Aliens, but live or whatever. I'm not sure what they're going to talk about all the time. Basically, coast to coast type of stuff. Uh, they don't really get into more of the spiritual healing ideas, which I don't. I don't think they. I don't really connect to that coast to coast. But I don't think. I mean, they did talk about curses back in Art Bell. Art Bell talked about some stuff. The MIB got more into that. That's probably why he got kicked off the air. Most likely, it was connecting to stuff he probably shouldn't have been talking about because of his audience. He had a big audience. Talked about curses, how curses are real, which they are. Not to say it's something to dabble with, but it does exist. Yeah, because it's a new way of a spell catcher. I think it's a spell catcher. Yeah, you have to have herbs and stuff like that. It's some people are just into that stuff. Whatever. It's kind of stupid. Whatever. Someone is born for it. So that stuff does exist. But I'm gonna put any more into it. I'm not sure if I have a curse on me right now. My car is. Anyway. Where am I going with all this? But yeah, Jones. Yeah, they want his audiences from what I'm feeling. A lot of them are lost as hell. Yeah, with Jones and Sandy Hook, though, I believe a part of them did think it was all fake because he sees how the government operates, and they count on that, though. They count on him to be paranoid. So they're using his paranoia to blindside people, to make people confused on what the hell's the truth. So yeah, he's a guinea pig there. He's not fully aware of it, obviously. They made him successful. But not to say there isn't truths there. There probably are, but there's so much stuff that's not true that he's not aware of. Of course, you got NBC and all that. That's all just corporate Illuminati, obviously. That's but basically connecting to the soul. Of course, they don't come after me because my numbers aren't very big. Because people think I'm crazy or whatever. They don't mean anything. So my numbers go larger, then I'll start getting. Probably go bye-bye, who knows. I'm not really worried about that. But basically connecting to your guides, your angels, realize you're a spiritual being, soulless forever. There's nothing wrong. Everybody can do readings for people, become more aware of that. People already read each other, right? Even comedians say, that person's easy to read. What is that? So names of your guides, not that important, but it's okay for you to name them whatever you like. They don't care. Jack and Jill, it does not matter to them. But becoming more aware of it does make you a little bit of a threat. You can connect more to your spiritual energies, your aliens. What's around you, just go by your intuition, as I've said in the past. Where is that on the radio? Probably not many places. Even those those famous psychics that talk to the dead. There's one I cannot remember his name. Well, John Edward is one. Does he talk about? Probably not. Because a lot of them, aren't. What's a business? So it's like, come to me for help. But then again, I think John Edward is. Yeah, he can say anybody. I believe he's the one that said anybody can do it. So that's it. Yeah, I believe some aren't always promoting that. But not to say that they want you to not. I think a lot of them are open to anybody connecting. There's other names out there I can't think of. Those aren't important. I imagine most of them are okay with people connect because people are still. I don't know. They're scared of it. Materialism gets in a way. Also, it's like I have my bucket list. I want to get my big screen TV, my big house. That's great and everything, but minimalistic, whatever. So it's a slow process, of course. And the idea for their manipulation is to derail you from your path. And anybody can connect to their spiritual energies to just, it takes time to believe it. Because we've been programmed for such a long time, it's hard to fully get to know your spiritual self. Well, that's another thing with the war is materialism. to get us to make us think being materialistic. Nothing wrong with being materialistic, but people focus on only that and not on themselves. You can have all the material stuff you want. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, what about you? What is there? What about, yeah, I'll connect to my angels, see if I should get this, or how do I feel about this, or, you don't have to ask about that, but, it's going more galactic, basically, or more angelic, however you want to word it. Especially with elementals, uh, like I said, everybody's different, connected to different elementals. Having like the fairies come to more to life. As I went to that greenhouse and Sarasota, it felt so healing there. And the trees basically said, "We're just here to heal. We're just here to heal." And let me tell you, if you're in a greenhouse of or just a plant life everywhere, your vibration will definitely change. Notice how, like, yeah, you have New York City. It's all cold basically because no nature really done for on design. Got more nature around, you will power back up. You live out in the country, you'll power up to a certain degree, but it'd be a lot more than living in the cities. So it's a lot of there's so much here that's keeping us down, as you can see. Let's see here. Yeah, I did channelings on this before, that a lot of judges are being compromised all the time. That's where a lot of wars are going on also. A lot of innocent people are being accused. This whole thing with Bill Cosby, I never really mentioned anything because I'm not getting a whole lot on it. Some people are. I'm not getting a whole lot on it. It's like some people are saying that he's innocent. It's like a Illuminati takedown of him. And you know what? I don't get a whole lot. Like, I don't think he's fully innocent. A lot of it probably is exaggerated, but it does feel like there's a plot to take him down. He must have did something. I don't know what he did. He did something somewhere, and they're out to destroy him now. I'm not sure what it is. Whatever, that's totally locked down. So something he did in his past, it might be with the Cabal. Could be. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't fall through with or something. I'm not sure what it is. That one I've never had a clear indication of who's right, who's wrong. Of course, I connect, like the females, and it involves like, gee, yeah, it's definitely, a guy's definitely guilty. But now when I'm connecting to it here, it does feel like there's a lot not being said, and there's a lot of backdoor stuff going on that I'm not quite understanding. I don't know. Not to say he's innocent. It just seems like there's something else going on that's not being. The timing of it, destroying his career, there's something that's amiss, but it's hidden, whatever it is. So, yeah, not to say he didn't do those things, because he probably did. But, yeah, because I want to say those women are all lying. I don't think. It's like Sandy Hook whole thing. I mean, it's just something that doesn't, the whole thing doesn't feel right. None of it does. So, it's like saying, there's a lot of, yeah, I'm not getting a full reading on it. Anyway, it's not that important. We'll see, there's blockages there. They don't want to know what the truth is, but let's see here. But as I say, the judges are constantly being, Supreme Court, yeah, they love pornography being put everywhere. They enjoy that. Not to say that's all bad, but it can become obsessive, where you disconnect the physical, the real connection. They want that to happen. They'd rather you connect your fantasies than an actual real person. They have many reasons behind that. They just want self-destruction, basically. As you can tell, yeah, it's not all bad. Nothing's all bad. Of course, cigarettes, I don't think that's very good, but there's some things that are not all. Geez, so much manipulations here. All right, let's see here. What can we? Yeah, to be kind of vague on this, the war exactly. A lot of it's happening in the skies that we're not seeing. Ships over cities in another dimension where, but a lot of it's ground crew stuff that we're not seeing. Do see Nordics as involved with the manipulations here, obviously. They go around a lot of females to lower their self esteem. It's usually male Nordics, the tall blondes. There's other Pleiadian energies. I believe most of the Pleiadians are normally positive. There are some that are kind of shady. The Nordics have a bad reputation, like the reptilians. So yeah, it's a combination. The Nordics, I think, are in some ways more worse than the reptilians. Reptilians aren't perfect, but the Nordics can be very. I think they can be worse. Look at Nazi Germany. The Nordics seem to be very. They're highly advanced. They're beautiful people compared to a lot of us who are just falling apart. Uh, Old people, basically, as soon as you get 30, and you're disintegrating body wise, but through health. But these are they're just very powerful. I mean, they're architects of worlds and they're architects of destroying worlds. So reptilians have just a different, like reptilians are part of the queen and that type of manipulation. Yeah, like the Queen of England, the kids, all their yeah, that's all. Yeah, they go through some pretty bad mind control. They're not going to make public at all. They're going. Let's see here. I think it's Prince William. That's the most manipulated. The brother is allowed to be less manipulated because he's not going to be the next king. It's going to be William, most likely. Understand, his dad has to be in his 90s before William might get it in his late 80s, as if he becomes king at all. I think it's up to be next king. He's the most manipulated. He's kind of. I do see a lot of fear around him. Uh, Not around his kids, but around himself. Of course, his kids, yeah, they're gonna screw that, whatever they're gonna do whatever they want. But around him, it does seem like he's on touchy waters right now. I think he's fine, but he does seem to fight back from God, just like his mother. So he doesn't obviously don't. He has his dark moments because of the situation his brother says too. I'm not sure if his brother and him are related though. I mean, yeah, the mother is the same, but the fathers, I'm not seeing that. They're different fathers from what I'm feeling. I think it's already been mentioned here. It doesn't matter. Obviously, Diana did not want to play by the rules, but I see William very somewhat scared. He, yeah, he might be. He's not seen very often. Like I really pay attention, but it doesn't seem like he's seen very often. And I feel that he pushes back against his own father because of the agenda. So they kind of, I feel like they have threatened him on a couple of occasions. And it also does seem like they do let the paparazzi in. They leak stuff to them when he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. So the paparazzi gets shots they shouldn't be getting. That's because William didn't obey. So it seems like the paparazzi is used as a weapon, obviously for Diana also. So yeah, it's a complete cover up on that. But they're trying to, yeah. William is, I don't know. I see fear. I see just pushback, and he doesn't want to be controlled, but of course he is. He'll lose everything, his family, wife, kids. The most likely he's not going to do that, but there's a lot of. It's funny how the Black Pope comes into this. Yeah, I think he did connect to the Black Pope. You kind of have to. Like I said, I don't think this Black Pope's very seen very often. But as for what is going on, at least for the Galactic Wars, like I said, we're going to skim through it because they're not giving me a whole lot of different information. It's kind of like dipping your toe in just a little bit right now. Or you give you some details, but usually events of news events like I say, you can use your intuition on what you feel galactically is going on. Also, the skies seem to be manipulated. Also, so we not see so many ships. They're doing something to the third density environment. They're like with the chemtrails, so we can't see things. So they're dampening us down. Let's see here. As you can tell, oh, you went to the royal family in England, like the Obama and his wife Michelle. That was our Kennedy moment, our English version of you know the King and I and everything. I'm gonna get going soon. Notice he got away with a lot of stuff, and of course his approval rating was a lot higher. Trump comes in and wants to do something different. Obama apparently, I do see his karma a lot worse than Bush. So whatever he was doing that was not seen, he's going to get a lot more karma than Bush did. Bush got a lot of stuff. He did a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff. Apparently Obama's done more. That was very strange, but I'm not fully connecting to what that is. I don't think I really want to know. But it does seem like the Obamas are going to be living well for a long time because they did as they were told. If they did not do as they were told, there'll be health issues. There'll be, all would be seen as normal, but not really because it's done on plan. So, like with the daughters, for the most part, I think everybody's health is quite decent. Of course, he's kind of old, so it's like if he didn't do what he was supposed to do, I do see his health declining. I believe he did everything he was supposed to do, so he should be fine. He'll probably live till he's like 90. I think Clinton's on that too. With Bill Clinton, he's going to live forever too. He did what he was told also. Trump's already up there in age. So, but he's doing what he's told also. So he's not out of the woods. But he's obviously not going to be seen as some, because the Illuminati energies, he's doing the agenda, whatever they want him to do. There is positive work going on. But of course, with him, yeah, it's kind of like it's not perfect, but whatever it is, it's behind the scenes. I'm not seeing it. Whatever is going on, like change, like hasn't been whatever he's here to do. Why he's in office, the agenda hasn't been fully implemented. We're going to see it soon, eventually. Maybe the next couple months. It's going to be major, but it's not going to hurt anybody or anything. I don't see that. But it does seem like whatever is here for, like, give him some time to get used to it all. But as for what he's here, I think there is a positive agenda there. So not to say Obama was all negative, but that was more for the cabal, the England cabal, basically. And with the right, there's something that, yeah, his name's gonna be mud forever. But he's going to be something's going to pull off. It might not be known, it might not be noticed. I'm not even sure if we will ever notice it, but it seems like in the next couple of months he's going to be doing something that will. It's like this is his agenda here. It's not bad. I'm not seeing that, but it just hasn't been activated yet. It's not Obamacare or anything like that. It's might have to do with the borders. I'm not sure. I'm not getting any detail. They're not saying anything. But there does seem like there's a positive agenda around him. Not everybody's throwing pies at him basically. And that's the way it is. He needs to grow up anyway, so that has a purpose to it. But as for because it's not always going to be positive, but it does affect everybody. Well, what's coming up is not going to really affect everybody now, but this will affect us later down the road. But I'm not giving anything clear. Let's see here. Anything you got for me? Well, yeah, with the Galactic alliances, it does seem like they're going to be doing peace treaties. Of course, you're not going to see it in our reality, so well, less wars. So it's going to be something more in the fourth dimensional energy. Interesting. Uh, Spiritualism is going to open up itself somewhere. So it's just, well, notice how he's very, talks about conspiracies or whatever it is. So like being bugged by Obama and stuff like that. So it could be his next election where it'll fully get implemented what he's here to do. I believe it'll be before that. I don't think he's Russia's puppet at all. Whoever's falling for that. I mean, the whole thing is just a show anyway. It's just a show. So, because we see Russia as the villain and we're just so perfect over here. Yeah. Us, the ones that are most manipulated out of the entire planet, even over China. We call China the most manipulated. We gotta look at ourselves a little bit more clearly. Oh, but that's not true. Yeah, right. Whatever. So, of course, they don't call us, and we live through censorship daily. So, minute by minute, from what it seems. Yeah, second for second. So, as for the agenda, I'm not getting a real. Well, as I said, with the alliances. Yeah, it does seem like we're going to more. I mean, it is getting a little bit better. I mean, we're not. There's no world war or anything like that. Some might be calling for that, but of course, the families here, family is kind of chaotic. Uh, internal families. You're just, some families are very friendly to each other. Some are just war zones, all on their own. So, let's see here. Like healing the home. I do see that eventually becoming a thing, like crystals and healing the negativity in a toxic environment at home. Uh, that'll be a thing eventually. It's going to take some time for that one. You can see that it's already happening, of course, but on a global scale eventually. Yeah, it's yeah, they're not telling me anything. Not now. But either way, I do see a positive agenda going on. As for us physically seeing it, it's hard to say. Spiritually, there's a lot going on. As for, you can say channelers, I don't know. They're just they're building up. That's all I got. Megan Kelly, yeah, her career is probably going to go down the drain eventually. If this is one blunder, she's going to do a couple more. So I think they're going to regret ever hiring her. So I don't know. They might keep her on for a while, but anyway, let's see here. There's always going to be something going on as for group or gang or something like that. It's just the way it is. Yeah, they're bringing up the Bill Cosby situation. There's manipulation among manipulation. A lot of information is locked around that situation that they don't want out. It does seem like they're doing like a media sacrifice of him, like they're doing Michael Jackson. It does seem like part of him is part of the manipulations of the Illuminati, as you can tell. Yeah, he was heavily manipulated by them. So with his power, now, yeah, not to say he's innocent. I don't think he is, but there's more going on. I'm not sure if we're ever going to really see it, fully understand it. Not to say it's a big deal, but yeah, it's a shame to see somebody like that. Like the guy was like perfect until all that came out. It's like, jeez. I mean, you can't go wrong with Bill Cosby until all that came out. It's like now it's like listening to Bill Cosby. It's just he has great material, and just it's too bad. Let's see here. What else we got? Yeah, the insectoids. They have very much in violence. They're very much involved with that. Petty theft, children. As for manipulating them to a lower density, because they have, let's see, technologies that seem to. They have certain technologies that the other beings don't seem to understand that can manipulate the child. I don't know what it is exactly. At least the lower vibration ones are doing that. Yeah, they don't talk about them very much. Like I said, with your third eye or your spiritual connections, you can connect. The rest of the world is just going to laugh it off, of course. Yeah, when you're manipulated 24/7, it's quite understandable. Come over here and be manipulated. It's like crack. It's like, come on, come back to our world. Yeah. So we can, it's like gang warfare. It truly is. It's like, oh, that's crazy. Jeez. It is quite amazing how the I mean, it's everywhere and everything. And it's just, let's see here. As for appearances, as for alien appearances, yeah, there are the Greys that most likely are most known for being seen. From them being seen is that they're not always paying attention to what they're doing. It's another reason why they get caught. They get pictures of themselves. They make a lot of mistakes. They're not perfect. As for alien sightings, I do see more Nordics being seen, or Pleiadian Nordic looking beings over time. They're the most likely because they're the most, have no fear of them. A gray show up to those that they know won't be afraid of them. Grays are, yeah, because they got to be careful who they connect with. But sometimes they do show up to people to get there. It's just like, I want you to remember who I am. Remember we had a conversation, you forgot about it. So that's where a lot of that comes from. I also do see the felines. A lot of alliances I do feel like are preparing to be seen. Not to say it'd be fully seen, mostly third eye. But I think it'd be more like, how he's like sightings in the sky. But now it'd be sort of third eye sightings, but a more clearer vision. I think that's going to be the next phase. Understand, it's going to be a slow phase. But I believe that's going to be the next one. Ever so slightly. Nothing too heavy. It's like, oh, look, I'm going to go see an alien. It'll come out of nowhere mostly. I think that's here in the States. Of course, you have to be awakened for that to happen, but not necessarily. Of course, those that aren't, it's already happening, of course. To those aren't awakened, they just call it nothing. But then again, from what I'm seeing, is that their hologram it will be prominent, but understand, who knows when that'll happen. It could be now, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now. But it does seem like that's the next. That's the next phase. That's when I'm getting the strongest. But yes, you have to be awakened. You have to be ready for all of this. You have to be almost communicating with them already. And a lot of people aren't. But then again, if you're not, you might get it. You might. But it does seem like more humanoid beings will start. I don't think insectoids. I doubt that. I don't think they care right now. Mantis, most likely they don't care. They're okay with it. Like other insectoids, like the ants, you never know. It's all possible. Any of them, basically. Any of the alien species. It does seem like they've become more clearly through the third. They've already been doing it already. But it does seem like the numbers are going to start increasing. Understand. It's going to be a while from what I'm gathering. So I think that's a lot of what's going on with the alliances as for making, the Trump and all that. It's just they're preparing. Obviously, it's not something that's going to happen fast because so many been sliced and diced, by manipulation. So let's see here. What else you got? The news also is can't keep all this stuff out forever. Basically, the spiritualism. Imagine they've done stories on it, but it'll be highly manipulated. It'll be manipulated to. That's the last thing they want to broadcast. So it'll be most likely a hit piece. It's just the way they operate right now. It's like Jones. I think it might be worse with spiritualism. Because they can't broadcast as that being the right thing to do. It's like all this time all you do is look within. Everything will change. That's what they'd be the last people to. You never know, but if they ever talk about it, they're going to scare us through the truth. They're going to just walk around it and just, be propaganda central. I believe this will become more popular, definitely. Astral wins another story. Like they crucified Sylvia Brown, but she wasn't very exactly teaching people how to connect to her guides. Probably in some ways, probably. But not doing on a global stage like she is on. Like, oh, I'm Sylvia Brown, look at me, I'm so special. Not really helping people connect to her, not publicly. She's done talks and stuff and probably workshops, but I don't remember seeing her do anything on Montel, tell people connect to her guides and actually tell them how to do it. Instead, she's the one talking to them, and they're the ones getting the message instead of the person helping the person connect to them. In some ways, she has, but anyway, I think that's going to change. So, how do you connect to your guides? Just, there's different ways. Just whatever name you feel like you need to call them, or painting, or any type of visualization will help. And I do feel the fear of the third density mentality. Right now they're calling it crazy because this is the smaller numbers and they're the bigger numbers. They're the Goliath and we're the David, basically. Not to say we're going to throw any rocks at them, but basically they think they're all big. They're part of the norm. Oh, we're trendy because we're not connected to anything. We're not connected to nothing. Just Netflix, sports, clothing, who's popular. That's about it. That's it. We just hit the brakes on everything else. Yep. No connector guys don't realize we have angels or anything like that. So we are fully indoctrinated, and good luck in getting through that. So anyway, I think that those days will change eventually, for sure. All right, I think I've rambled on enough. They'll go into more details. I think it's just a piece of it. They're just going to get pieces here and there. And we'll go into more details over time. Just lay it out. There is wars over the oceans, Washington, D.C. A lot is going on in Area 51, yes. A lot is going on everywhere. Russia, definitely. Russia seems to be a turning point. There's a lot of, when I say turning point, it's a game. That's how Russia is used against the United States. That's what I mean. It's used as a product of some kind, as you can tell. So it's like Russia doesn't want anything to do with it. But yeah, notice how they're showing up as a villain. Oh, it's Russia. You know what I mean? It's like they're not saying it's China, because China's probably doing a lot of stuff too. It's always Russia. So Russia's like, hey, we just want to get along with everybody. We're not into any of this propaganda. Yeah, we want the CIA out of our backyard. Good luck on that one. So, that's where I feel it's a game changer. If you want to word it like that, whatever. All right, I think I've talked enough. Okay, blessings, everyone. Have a great week. Thank you for listening. I know hopefully you learned something from all this. So blessings all. Take care.